For now, let's take a look at stories of the day. And the three candidates were asked how they will deal with the problem of lack of quality infrastructure in Africa. That is in the just concluded Africa Union Commission chairmanship debate. And this is how they answered.
But we're going to insist that Africa must get 2 permanent seats in the UN Security Council. We need to find a way of creating an environment for dialogue within our societies so that we can be able to prevent these differences, conflict ending up into I worked for 5 years as the African Union High Representative on Infrastructure Development. And here is another problem, because goods cannot move freely because of lack of adequate infrastructure within the continent. Kenya exported tea to Ghana, and it took 3 months of tea to travel from Kenya to Ghana. We have major infrastructure projects, the high-speed continental railway, the inter-African highways, Cape to Cairo, Tunis to Cape, Dakar to Djibouti, Dakar, Lagos, Mombasa, and so on and so forth. All these need to be developed. Energy is another factor. Energy is too expensive, but we can reduce the cost of energy and go green in the continent.
I acknowledge the work by President Museveni. He has said that he will not export petrol or gas as long as there will not be a refinery in Uganda. These are the examples from African leaders who take the destiny of their people in hand so that they can actually have value added locally. I can emphasize the importance of continuing to develop the economy at the continental level. You did mention our joint initiative about developing trade through, in theory, liberalization of trade, liberalization of the circulation of persons throughout our continent.
Right, and Raila Odinga was emphatic about the issue of pushing for permanent representation of the continent on the United Nations Security Council, saying Africa needs to have representation with veto power as it has a large population which represents a significant proportion of the global population.
But we're going to insist that Africa must get 2 permanent seats in the UN Security Council. We need to find a way of creating an environment for dialogue within our societies so that we can be able to prevent these differences, conflict ending up into violent confrontation between the various groups. We don't need to put a time span, but I'm sure that it is possible to end these conflicts and stop the guns by 2035.
It's very critical that the Peace Fund, in which we have $400 million, that the Commission and the PRC, get to the compromise situation where that money could be used for peace on the continent.
I think here in Africa, we all know the importance and the urgency of having these 2 seats. And we have to seize this opportunity because we are actually at the end of 2024. And so we have to act very fast in 2025.
In his closing remarks, Raila Odinga said he is ready to serve the continent and will draw on his vast experience at local and continental level to champion Africa's growth. The 3 candidates rallied African heads of state to support them in the February 2025 AUC elections.
I am ready on day 1 when I'm appointed. I will not need any kind of induction. I'm ready to work for the continent, and I will offer my best. The days of Africa have come. The African lion will begin to roar and tell its Asian tiger counterpart and the European bear and the American jaguar that this is going to be Africa's millennium.
And I will work diligently to defend our continent, and with the full modesty, I think that I deserve it.
Je souhaite à nos pays, à nos peuples africains.
So I wish for our African people, our countries, a very happy 2025. We shall be a united team, a team that will have the team spirit to continue in the implementation of the 10-year plan of Agenda 2063.